from being one of the most influential artists of the 21st century to becoming one of the most controversial figures in modern pop culture. This is a story of Kanye West, the genius, the icon, the disruptor, and the man who lost it all, bit by bit, headline by headline. But was it really a fall? Or just another act in Ye's ever-evolving performance? Kanye Omari West wasn't supposed to be a rapper. He was a producer, a damn good one. By the early 2000s, he was crafting hits for Jay-Z and shaping the sound of Rockefeller Records. But Kanye wanted the mic, had wanted the spotlight, and in 2004, he got it with The College Dropout. Critics called it revolutionary. Fans called it real. It was conscious rap with style, soul, and a chip on his shoulder. Then came Late Registration, Our Graduation, 808s, and Heartbreak. Every album felt like a leap. He wasn't following trends, he was creating them. Kanye West wasn't just part of the culture, he was the culture. 10. My Beautiful Dark Twisted Fantasy, arguably his magnum opus. Kanye isolated himself in Hawaii, brought in dozens of artists, and created what many call the best album of the decade. Then came Watch the Throne with Jay-Z, Yeezus with its industrial rage, and the launch of Yeezy, his fashion line that sold out in minutes. He married Kim Kardashian, dominated the headlines, and reached billionaire status. This wasn't just success, this was empire building. But empires have cracks, and Ye's was starting to show. In 2016, the world saw a different Kanye. His St. Pablo tour abruptly ended after a bizarre onstage rant and a hospitalization. Then came the political pivot, the MAGA hat, the Trump meeting, the slavery was a choice comment. Fans were divided. Was this performance art, mental illness, or both? And then came the 2020 presidential run. By this point, Ye was no longer just controversial. He was alienating fans, friends, and even family. In 2022, Kanye crossed a line many thought he never would. After a string of anti-Semitic comments on social media and interviews, Adidas, Balenciaga, and other major brands dropped him. He lost billions overnight. He doubled down. No apologies, no filters. This wasn't a media stunt. This was real, and it was ugly, from dominating charts to dominating headlines for all the wrong reasons. Kanye had become the cautionary tale of fame, ego, and isolation. So where is Kanye West today? Still creating, still tweeting, still unpredictable. He recently teased new music, launched Yeezy Season something or other, and continues to be both ridiculed and revered. But the question remains, can Kanye come back? Or is this just the new Ye, forever out of sync with the world and maybe even himself? Because in the end, Kanye's story isn't just about music or fashion. It's about what happens when genius goes unchecked, when vulnerability becomes spectacle, and when the world stops clapping. At his peak, Kanye wasn't just an artist, he was a cultural architect. He changed how we viewed fame, music, and fashion. His Yeezy sneakers redefined the sneaker game, selling out in seconds and rivaling Nike's dominance with nothing but hype and scarcity. His Sunday service performances blurred the line between religion and art, pulling gospel into the mainstream while making headlines for their sheer visual and emotional intensity. He was setting trends in arenas people didn't even associate with hip-hop before. Kanye wasn't living in the zeitgeist. He was the one manufacturing it. And part of what made him so magnetic was the unpredictability. You never knew what Kanye was going to do next, but you knew it was going to make noise. Kanye's mental health struggles weren't just tabloid fodder. They were painfully public. Diagnosed with bipolar disorder, he referenced it frequently in his music, interviews, and tweets. Albums like Ye leaned into the theme of "I hate being bipolar, it's awesome," with manic highs and depressive lows baked into the sound itself. Fans debated where the boundary lay between creative brilliance and genuine psychological pain. Unlike many artists who shield their trauma behind the scenes, Kanye brought his inner turmoil to the stage, sometimes literally. From cutting concerts short to crying mid-interview, Ye turned the spectacle inward. But in doing so, he also blurred the lines between art and breakdown, making it harder to know when to support him and when to step back. When Kanye made anti-Semitic remarks in 2022, The fallout wasn't just personal, it was corporate and financial. Adidas severed ties, cutting off the billion-dollar Yeezy pipeline. Gap, Balenciaga, Vogue, and countless other collaborators swiftly distanced themselves. His talent agency dropped him, and within days Forbes reclassified him, no longer a billionaire. This wasn't a slow erosion of influence, it was a free fall. What's more jarring is that Kanye seemed almost indifferent to it all. He doubled down, appearing on fringe media platforms, making even more inflammatory statements. It wasn't just the music industry turning his back, it was the world. And yet, despite being shunned by mainstream media, he continued to post, speak, and show up, as if exile only fed his belief that he was misunderstood. As the years went on, Kanye's music changed, not just sonically, but spiritually. His 2019 gospel album, Jesus is King, marked a clear shift. Less brash, more devoted. He declared himself reborn, distancing from his older ego-fueled persona. But even in this religious rebrand, chaos followed. Fans praised the soundscape, but questioned the sincerity. Collaborators dropped off mid-projects. He'd announce an album 1 week and delay it for months, sometimes never releasing it at all. The creative process, once a collaborative explosion of vision, now felt like it was happening in a vacuum. Erratic, impulsive, and increasingly isolated. His infamous listening parties became performance art pieces, where fans heard unfinished tracks in packed stadiums, sometimes watching him silently stand on stage for hours. The mystery had overtaken the music. Kanye West's story is still unfolding. Despite the controversies, the boycotts, the scandals, he still commands attention. That says something about the power of his influence, but also about our culture's complex relationship with fallen idols. Some see him as a tragic genius undone by his demons. Others view him as a provocateur, intentionally lighting matches just to watch the world burn. Maybe he's both, or maybe he's something else entirely, a mirror reflecting back the contradictions of celebrity, capitalism, mental health, and race in America. The rise and fall of Kanye West isn't a clean narrative. It's messy, like the man himself. But love him or hate him, Kanye made sure of one thing: you'd never forget his name. Kanye's influence extended far beyond his albums and fashion lines. He changed how artists approach the business of art. Before Kanye, most rappers stayed in their lanes, but Kanye blurred them. Artist, producer, director, designer, mogul. He demanded ownership, autonomy, and creative control in ways that forced the industry to shift. His public battles with labels over masters and contracts sparked widespread conversations about artist rights. He openly criticized streaming platforms, challenged traditional media gatekeepers, and even tried to build his own platforms to distribute music independently. Whether it was misguided or visionary, or both, it inspired younger artists like Tyler, the Creator, Travis Scott, and even Billie Eilish to think bigger, own more, and brand themselves as movements, not just musicians. Kanye didn't just break the mold, he set it on fire and dared everyone else to walk through the smoke.